to everyone. I am Professor Raja, working as Assistant Professor, EC Department, SNS College of Technology, an autonomous institution, Coimbatore. In this YouTube video, I am going to discuss about the basic introduction to radio communication. If you watch my previous YouTube video, that is the introduction to communication, you may know how a communication is happened between a sender to receiver, and the various types of communications are discussed, and their advantages, applications are also discussed. In this link, I will post the previous YouTube video link. Now I am going to discuss about introduction to radio communication. Radio is the radiation of electromagnetic signal through the atmosphere of free space. The transmission and reception of electromagnetic waves of radio frequency, especially those carrying sound messages. This is the example of various types of electromagnetic radiation. Radio is the technology of signaling and communicating using radio waves. Radio waves are electromagnetic waves of frequency between 30 Hz to 300 GHz. So this figure shows the various types of electromagnetic radiation. First, the radio waves. The radio waves are used to broadcast radio and television signals. Second one is the microwaves. Microwaves are used in cooking, radar, telephone and other signals. Next one is the infrared rays. It is used to transmit heats from sun, fires and radiators. Next, visible light. Whatever we can see in the real time, that is called through only visible light only. It makes things able to be seen. The next, ultraviolet rays. It is absorbed by the skin used in fluorescent tubes. Next, X-rays used to view inside of bodies and objects. Next, gamma rays used in medicine for killing cancer cells. So this is the history of how a radio communication is happened. This figure shows early radio testing scenario from AT&T lab. So in 1873, James Clerk Maxwell showed mathematically that electromagnetic waves could propagate through free space. The first intentional transmission of a signal by means of electromagnetic wave was performed in an experiment by David Edward Hughes around 1880. In 1888, Heinrich Rudolf Hertz was able to prove transmit electromagnetic waves in an experiment confirming Maxwell's theory of electromagnetism. Nikola Tesla experimentally demonstrated the transmission and radiation of radio frequency energy in 1892. In 1895, Marconi built a wireless system capable of transmitting signals at a longest distance with a range of 1.5 miles, that is 2.4 kilometers. From Marconi's experiment, the phenomenon that transmission range is proportional to square of the antenna height is known as Marconi's law. So these are the various classifications of radio waves. From 30 to 30 kHz, it is called as very low frequency. From 30 to 300 kHz, it is called as low frequency. From 300 to 3000 kHz, it is called as medium frequency. From 3 to 30 MHz, it is called as high frequency. From 30 to 300 MHz, it is called as very high frequency. From 300 to 3000 MHz, it is called as ultra high frequency. From 3000 to 30,000 MHz, it is called as super high frequency. So this is the mechanism that how a signal can be transmitted through a wireless medium. So here the audio signal is first given to some mic for converting this analog audio signal into a digital electronic signal. Here the transducer may be a mic which can be convert an audio signal into electrical electronic signal. This electronic signal is given to electronic processor for noise removal and gain improvement process. Once the signal boosted signal is given to transmitter for transmitting the signal to a longest distance communication. So through the air media, these electromagnetic waves are traveled and it can be reached to receiver. In 99%, transmitter and receivers are in the type of antennas only. Again, this electronic signal is given to transducer for converting an electronic signal into original audio signal. Further, it is given to receiver for retrieving the information. So this is the general mechanism of how the analog signal is transmitted and received through an electromagnetic waveform in air medium. This is the basic and simple radio transmitter. First, whatever the signal we want to transmit, that can be either in audio format or video information format. This information can be transmitted through antenna for a longest distance communication. Even though this is a good quality signal, but this cannot be have the capability to travel in a longest distance communication. Hence, in order to avoid this drawback, a suitable carrier frequency is added and it is generated using an oscillator. An oscillator is a device used to generate a sine wave with a desired frequency. So in order to operate this oscillator, we need the power supply. So power supply will operate the oscillator. Oscillator will generate the carrier frequency. Both this carrier and the message frequency are added in the modulator. Modulator is modulating the frequency. Once the modulating frequency is given to amplifier, this amplifier will do first the noise removing in this incoming signal, and also it provides the suitable gain to reception of and transmission of signal. So this amplified signal is given to antenna for longest distance transmission. Once the antenna is transmitting, again the receiving antenna is receiving this signal. First it is given to RF amplifier. The RF amplifier in this block will do two processes. The first process is removes the noise in the incoming signal, then it allows only the RF signal and rejects the unwanted signal. Because in air media, so many frequency of signals are added to the transmitted signal, hence first that noise is removed by RF amplifier. Again, only the RF amplifier sends the RF signal and rejects the unwanted signal. As you see in this previous slide, there are so many frequencies are there. So in order to get only the RF frequency, this RF amplifier is mainly used. Then this RF signal is given to tuner for tuning the entire frequency into a particular frequency, because radio receivers can operate only in a specified frequency. Once the frequency are tuned, this tuned signal is given to audio detector for converting a radio frequency signal into an audio signal. So the audio amplifier is used for improvement of gain and boosting the signal quality. Once the power gained audio signal is given to speaker for telecasting the information. So the main applications of radio waves are, it is used in wireless technology, mobile telephone communication, television, radar, radio waves in space, Wi-Fi. So in this YouTube video, I discussed what is meant by communication and how these communications are happen. Then what is the use of receiver in early days, how the receivers are generated. Then I can take a small radio transmitter followed by how a radio receiver is working. Then some of the applications of radio waves are discussed. Thank you for watching my video.